Hi, so it's Niamh Fitzpatrick here with Sinead Cooney, Equine Therapies Ireland, and Sinead is a trainer coach down in Kildare. So we're here today. Sinead has brought a couple of horses up to see me, and we said we'd have a little quick chat about one of our clients because we felt she was an interesting case. So I met the client, the partnership, I guess, there last year. I originally started testing for herbs for them before they came here because they ended up having some loading issues, which initially wasn't a thing, but came subsequent to some pain and some issues. So the rider started seeing Sinead after she'd had her own child, and they were running into difficulties, rushing, and just behavioural problems with the jumping lessons. She was seeing another practitioner at the time, and they believed there was something going on in the neck, so they had referred the owner to the vets to get that checked. And Sinead at that point was also seeing some inconsistencies behind. So she did go to Equivet, I believe. They scanned the neck, they did a workup, and it was inconclusive with the neck, but they did notice that when they blocked her to the hocks, she got a lot happier. So they did the x-rays. They didn't think that it was hugely concerning. However, they put the steroid injections in, and both Sinead and the owner did notice a massive improvement. So that was really good. So we kept going with the herbs, and at that point the trader, the loading improved, so they made their way up to me. I think it was late last year, and we had a session here. So it was wonderful because I could actually see how much the herbs had an impact, and I've got photos I'll put up in relation to this as well of that horse. So she had improved in her overall constitution, but there was two things that showed up to me really significant. Her pelvis was bilaterally in flexion, so she was pulled down like this, and her craniosacral system was contracted, so over the top line. So when I tuned in, well, I suppose how that presented to the owner was when you lift up the leg, the horse is really heavy in the leg. So it's like the legs should just spring up and they should just hold it. But she was always very heavy for the farrier and for the owner. Additionally, the owner, well, it was after I recognised when I tuned in, and I felt that her primary issues were reproductive system and her urinary system. So her bladder showed up quite strongly. And at that point, the owner said, yes, she had never really urinated while she was on her back. And that was over a 6-year period, which is pretty significant. So we had the treatment. Sinead had a horse here as well, a gelding, and the mare ended up coming into season during the treatment, which was pretty significant. I think she released 3 or 4 times to the gelding, which again, in this environment, and she hadn't been in season, so we recognised it was consequent to the treatment. So that lasted for about, 20 minutes, half an hour, and then it eased out. So they went off, they went home, and they were feeling a lot better. She was holding these legs a lot better, and she actually urinated while the rider was on her, which was quite significant. So we are hoping to have them back again this year, but in the meantime, she's been back with Sinead, and Sinead sits up on the horses as well, which is amazing because she can then get the feel. And Sinead had been in touch with me, and she had ridden the horse, and she expressed significant changes, but then it led to Sinead having to ride quite differently and to ask the horse different questions, which is what I found was really, really interesting, and just something to bring into people's awareness, because are we doing that when we make a change in the horse? Are we changing how we perceive them and how we ride them and how we communicate with them? So I'm just going to pass it over to Sinead now. Come into the frame more.
So I'm working with this partnership, and it was really interesting after working with Niamh how much this relationship changed between me and really this horse, because I would have had the opportunity to ride her all the way through each stage as we were working with her, and that was what I was absolutely blown away with, was when I got to ride her again, where she was looking for completely different information. So Niamh had completely let go some old patterns that had been there for quite a long time, and when I got to ride her, she wanted to know how to use this new pattern. She wanted to understand because she was feeling so different. So that was the biggest thing for me, and seeing how bringing in a person like Niamh can just change something so dramatically. I cannot describe this now in words really, because it's so mind-blowing, but to explain in it that when I got on her and I was able to follow what she was asking, instead of me getting on and saying, I need you to do this, I just sat and waited for her to tell me. And that was what she needed, and that's what she was looking for. And once I trusted that, okay, she actually went, I need this help here and I need that help there. And that was it. When I filled those gaps in, she completely went, "You've got it," and off she went. I'm not joking you. The forwardness, the flexibility, like it just was amazing. And it didn't take like a long session. I'm talking 10 to 12, 15 minutes sitting on her. That's how much she transformed. Her owner again got the opportunity to sit back on her, and she said, oh my God, she wasn't aware how much her own pattern needed to change, and that was the big one for her. So she's gone home and has a lot of homework to do, but actually what is wonderful is she's now back out on this mare doing something they love doing, which is hunter trialing and things like that, and she loves it. So it's wonderful that they're back in that space again, which is something she's always wanted. So it's a really good story in that it just shows with the right people in your team, you can really transform into a totally different relationship with your horse. So thanks to Niamh.
And thank you,
yeah,
Sinead. Yeah, I think
amazing.
it's a great, just to, on that, I think, listening to the horse. I mean, anyone who's come here with me, it is about listening. It's about communication. It's about partnership. It's not about coercion. It's not about force. It's not about punishment. And I think that's the ethos that we follow, we endeavour to, and when you see it working together, so the change happened for the horse, but then we've got to look and ask her different questions in a different manner, and also just sit and listen, because we don't have all the answers, but they can give us a huge amount of information if we can kind of park the ego a little and the fear and just wait and give them time and have patience. They can give us such a huge amount. It's a different way of thinking, and we just thought it would be interesting information to share. That's it. Hope
100%,
everyone's having a great day. So this is sign off from Roscommon and Westford.
Say it's just the things that I have been taught. It's just the way that I was brought up. It's just the way that my people live. No other way but to give in. You've been speaking to me like different is dangerous. Like the world's got no space for us, but our timing is perfect. The new world is worth it, and we're waking.